No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.
Welcome back, Ghost. It's another episode of the Horror Pop Extravaganza. Where the macabre meets the marvel. What's up, everybody? How are you? I am Pops Ghostly. This is the Horror Pop Extravaganza, and with me, as always, I have.
Little Duke Spooky.
I like that. That was almost like a wrestling intro. Like if you had some Undertaker type music. It's Duke Spooky, the urn. Oh no. It would be fantastic. I want to welcome everyone to the show, especially those who are new with us. We've been seeing a lot of really cool growth across the board. You know, if you can subscribe, I guess that's what I'm supposed to ask. I think I'm still trying to figure out what the algorithm wants, you know, to just share the show with more people. So as I figure that out, I will definitely let you know. But to everyone new, thank you. Thank you for jumping on this journey with us. And if you are brand new, this is your first episode, we put the macabre in the mindful into a beautiful little amalgamation, you know, something different, something unique. We like to celebrate horror culture, horror movies, while at the same time just finding those ways we might all be able to be just a little bit calmer, cooler, maybe something like that. Who knows? But yeah, that's what we're here for, man. That's what we do every week. And this week we have a good one. I am very excited because this is one of those that just I'm like, fuck, man, rewatching like it's that good. Like it really is that good. Like you did a thing. And of course, if you were on last week, you know we're going to talk about The Conjuring from 2013. I saw this at the movie theater. Very rarely in a theater am I, you know, kind of, and this one got under my skin a little bit. There were times where I was just like, damn, man, this is crazy. Like, this is going to be wild. And right up until the final credits, I was sitting there watching the last couple minutes, and it's like, dude, you keep just, yep, go for it. Now we are 12 years removed from when this thing first came out, and there have been so many sequels, prequels, spin-offs. There's a whole Conjuring universe. It's called, you know, the Conjureverse, I guess. And we've had dolls, nuns, fucking every kind of like demon entity that you can think of come at us. But in 2013, this was a really cool breath of fresh air. And we had done Insidious a couple of maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. We talked about Insidious. After seeing this, I'm like, okay, cut your teeth on Insidious, fucking knock it out of the park with this one. And I feel like they learned all their lessons with that one. And Insidious isn't a bad movie by any means. It's a great movie, fun movie. But when The Conjuring came, it was like, all right, you figured it out. And your camera work is just getting so much better, dude. Like there was a shot where Vera Farmiga's walking out the house, the camera flips and then turn pans on the dude walking up the stairs into the balcony. And I'm like, that's motion picture. You know what I mean? That's putting the motion in it in a really cool way. Before we get into all, because I'm already sharing details and shit about the movie, as little Duke Spooky does every week, he opens up the Internet Movie Database and lets us know who directed it, who's in it, and what does IMDb think this movie is about. And make sure you read off all these kids, dude, because they crushed it. Very young Joey King, too. I always forget that she, yeah, you know, just first. I don't know if this was her first one or if she did stuff younger, but she's an individual whose acting career I've followed for a long time, and she's just a great talent. She's cool. So why don't you lay it on us, man? Give us that Internet Movie Database.
It sounds disrespectful when you say it that way. Come on now.
Well, they disrespect the fuck out of us with the write-ups that they give us. They'll be like, Jaws, a movie about some people on an island and a shark swam by. It just come on, man. We don't have to be super respectful when clearly they're just like let AI write the write-ups, dude. Let them go and let them have it.
Oh shit. There's an underpaid intern doing this somewhere, I bet.
I hope he's listening. He's like, come on, guys, fuck, or she.
That's IMDb, and you guys are
Right.
making fun of it.
I am DB. I am DB.
All
There's a
right.
robot. I am database. I am database. Anyway, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We support you, IMDb. Our director in this one is a little up and comer named James Wan. Done a couple of pictures.
I did watch Dead Silence yesterday, and a lot of people don't like Dead Silence now. You know, I'm a big doll guy. Give me a scary
Yeah.
doll all day, dude. I want a scary doll movie, and that one's just full of them. But yeah, he's been, or I should say, I've been a fan of his since Saw. Since I saw it the first time, I was like, "Who is this guy?" And then he
Yeah.
just kept putting out movies, and I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And then he, yeah, just does his thing. Would show up and do. Didn't he do Aquaman?
He did some Aquaman, he did some Fast and Furiouses.
Yeah, he's done some really cool shit, man. But his Aquaman, I really liked. You know, the camera work and stuff. It's just you can see his name on it. So yes, James Wan. Oh, we love you at the Horror Pop Extravaganza.
There's another name that's been popping up a lot lately, little Patrick Wilson.
Love Patrick Wilson.
He's pretty good. He's kind of sexy, kind of sinister. Like he's got like some sex appeal, but in like a naughty way. Like he wants dirty
See, and
stuff.
that's the you can't say that though, because Hard Candy crushed me with Patrick Wilson. And when you talk about him
Uh,
like that, I'm like, "Argh." But
yeah,
again, you look at that movie and then you look at this stuff, you look at the comedy, like he's a just has a range and is just somebody who can, act. He can do it.
yeah. And then you put him next to this wonderful lady, Vera Farmington.
Farmington, it's Firminga.
Whatever, dude.
No,
Like
not whatever. It's
potatoes, Firmingas, like it's the same thing.
boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. The Vera Farmiga is amazing. I
Yes.
believe I saw her The Departed. I think is when I noticed her. She was Leonardo DiCaprio's love interest and maybe therapist or doctors, probably parole officer, something like that. But she shows up, and these two have become synonymous with Ed and Lorraine Warren. And we should know, for maybe anybody who's not familiar with Conjuring, that these are based on real people, real demon hunters, demonologists.
But
Ed
do
and
not
Lorraine.
look like Patrick Wilson and Veering Farminga.
Very rarely do they do they. I'm gonna sidebar real quick. Real talk. I was on Hulu and there's this whatever Amanda Knox thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking to my wife who's a big true crime. She's got a master's degree in criminal justice. She just loves the all this shit. And I'm like, do you think we ever would have heard about it had they not been attractive people?
Right.
Like that guy Luigi right now, everybody was like, that's a sexy ass man.
Yeah, and he's a
But
killer.
But had they not been, so I think the studios are just gonna be like, we need a little bit prettier face.
For sure, dude.
Right.
So the real Lorraine Warren is in this movie. She's in the class taking the seminar and it pans past her face. And I swear, dude, she looks like Cat Lady Teacher from Monster Squad.
Ugh. I love Cat Lady Teacher from Monster Squad. We had, you know what's cool, boys? Science is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want that shirt he has. Stephen King rules. Just
Rules, dude.
red with yellow letters, and that's it.
Beautiful.
But she's awesome. And now they were respectively much younger when this is supposed to have taken place because they got their big fame for the Amityville case. A lot of people called them quacks, a lot of people believed them, but the events in The Conjuring take place right before Amityville. So we're kind of seeing them make that decision that we're going to hunt demons and do all this stuff for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Then we got a man who I've been following his career since Swingers, dude. Mr. Ron Livingston.
See,
So good.
Swingers was cool. I like Swingers. It's a great movie. But Office Space, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, and he's another one that can show up hilarious drama. all of it. James Wan just was put the every single person in this movie, I feel fits. They're the right person, all the way down to kind of your Deputy Dewey sheriff character. They all just work really well and interact with each other extraordinarily well.
Another lady from the back in the day that I love and respect, Lily Taylor, who looks like a haunted person.
Dude, yes. When I think of, what was it, three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri or something, like
Oh, I've never seen that.
she looks like that movie made me feel.
Right.
Like downtrodden. But she's also very pretty at the same time. She can be both. Like when they give you the scenes of her on the beach, there's something about her, but it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a muse or something. Like she might call out to you like a siren and you can't stop listening to her, like, I'm coming, Lily Taylor. I'm coming. And without her performance, this movie doesn't work.
No, not at all, dude. And it's
She,
hard what she has to do.
yeah, and she pulls it off so good. It's like, yo, dude, all right,
He's another one who does horror, drama, comedy, like
all of
from
it.
Say Anything, dude. When she's singing that song, when she's like, Dave, 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 or whatever
So
it is.
good, so good. You're right.
The best.
And
All
that's
right, now,
something we've talked about a little bit. Sorry, you'll get to the kids in just a second, but comedy and horror are so close. They're almost the same genre with just a different surprise.
yeah,
It's just set up expectations we think we know, turn them, subvert them, and put it in a different direction. And that's comedy and that's horror. They go, so I think people who understand one or the other well can walk into the other relatively, maybe more easily than somebody who doesn't kind of really feel the genre and understand like this is what like a Mel Brooks who's just like, I know what's funny.
yeah,
I can make shit that's funny. There's those people out there that your Gene Wilders who can make you fucking laugh with just moving his eyes, making a face or something like that. And those people do exist, and I think they carry over both really well between horror and comedy. And we get a lot of horror comedies because they're so close.
yeah, absolutely. I was just listening to a interview with that dude who did Parasite, and he did Barbarian, and he was from The Whitest Kids You Know. I had no idea it was that same dude, And then Jordan Peele, same thing. It's almost like sketch comedy adds like an even closer like
Right.
amalgamation with horror. It's
Right.
great. Are you ready to hear about the daughters?
Yes. Lay 'em on me.
Five daughters in this movie, dude,
Yep.
and they all have so little to do, but each one is cast so well.
So well.
So we got Shane Lee Caswell as Andrea.
She's the oldest, right?
hmm
Yep.
Haley McFarland is Nancy.
Nancy is the next youngest, I think.
Yeah. Joey King plays Christine,
Right. So it's almost, I feel like they're in order of age.
kind of. Mackenzie Foy, who is like, she was the little girl who was like bumping her head on the bureau.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was really good. And she was in like a Christopher Nolan thing, like Interstellar, I think.
Oh,
She's
word.
the girl in that. Yeah, yeah. And then we've got Kyla Deaver. She played April. Shannon Kook played Drew. He was that dude who like shows up and just like he was a pimp too, dude. I was like, where does this smooth
I know,
motherfucker come
right?
from?
Comes up in his sick van and he's like, "Hey, girl, what's up?"
Yeah.
Yeah, mom, watch me sit on my cameras. It's cool. No, but
John Brotherman plays the sheriff Brad.
I love him, dude. I love he plays that sheriff with a heart, but maybe not the most world experience.
Right, yeah, a little bit of Deputy Dewey there.
Hmm.
And then Sterling Jarens played Judy Warren, the little girl that was the Warren's child, who comes kind of more into play in the second one.
Oh yeah, and I think even in the wasn't there one of the Annabelle movies where they're at her house? I think Annabelle Comes Home is in the
I know
Warren
there was
house.
one that, yeah, was in the
And
Warren
it's
house.
all with her. She has this babysitter over, whatever, and then all the monsters light up at the same time. And yeah,
Right.
it was pretty cool. Okay.
You want to hear what the IMDb says this movie's about?
MVP.
Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse.
That's actually not terrible. That's not terrible. But I don't think it fully Like it should be like, there's a scary fucking witch. She killed herself after killing her kid for Satan. Now a family's on her land. What's gonna happen?
Down and down and down.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about The Conjuring. Again, I'm going to try and keep these not super short and sweet, but I really want to try and stick to that hour mark. So we open up on not the family. We open up on the Annabelle doll. This is the first time we meet Annabelle. And I have this doll tattooed, a portrait of this doll tattooed on my thigh.
You named your child after it. Come on.
So did want to bring that up as well because yes, the doll had a little bit to do with it, but for me more than anything, it was the Edgar Allan Poe poem Annabelle Lee, which has been one of my favorites since high school, and it's just this tragic but beautiful, I feel, expression of love. But yeah, and the doll's not. They even say it. The doll's not evil. It's not Chucky. She's not going to jump up and kill you. She's a conduit for evil to come in. And so they've got this group of nurses, and the doll was writing all over the walls and shit, all this stuff. And we meet Ed and Lorraine. They're like, okay, we're going to take the thing away. And we get to see the museum of oddities and all that shit. And that dude that was riding around with the real Annabelle doll recently, passed away. I don't know. Could just be coincidence, but it's such a part
Very
of our
coincidence, dude.
such a part of our pop culture zeitgeist that, yeah, very scary coincidence. Moving forward, we have our family of, like you said, Livingston, Taylor, and all the kids moving to a new house. And he is a trucker who we learn pretty quickly, is kind of down, like, hey, we got this house super cheap, but man, that's half my rate for this route, bro. Like, I can't take that one. But he's like, all right, I'll do it anyway.
Let me just offer this word of warning. If you buy a house that's huge and beautiful and kind of isolated and it's way undervalued, maybe think twice, maybe just do a background check.
Right. And it's on a lake. There's a lake in the backyard.
A scary lake, dude, with like a old timey like Last of Us boat bumping up against the dock and shit. It's bad.
A little bit scary, but nevertheless, it's waterfront property. So when they get there, all the movers are taking stuff in. Camera works beautiful, following kids through the house and shit like this. The dog doesn't want to go in. Sadie's like, nope, I am right good right outside right here. Okay.
And that's the number one. If your dog doesn't want to go in a house or anywhere, you don't go there either.
No.
The dog knows more than you.
Every time.
Every time.
I don't know why we don't have a show, Dog Ghost Hunters.
Seriously.
Put cameras on dogs, and if they start like seeing some shit like take off the other way, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So they're packing everything in. Dog doesn't want to come in. We learn quickly this game they play where they put a blindfold on someone and clap, and you're allowed 3 claps, and the person with the blindfold has to try and find you just based on sound. Yeah, this comes into play a lot throughout. One of my favorite sequences, this comes into play because I remember being in the theater and being like, oh, that's good. So good. So they all get inside. Relatively quickly, stuff starts to happen. It's pretty fast, but unlike, we talked with Insidious about how that third act I felt like kind of dragged a little bit, was showing us a lot of the same things. In this, they set it up with a lot of different tension in different ways. And then they'll throw some shit right in your face every once in a while, and you're like, oh, and it's not a red demon, it's a super scary Bathsheba, demon witch lady that we learned, like I said, sacrificed her kid as the ultimate affront to God and proclaimed her love for Satan and then hung herself from the tree, but not before saying this land is cursed. Anybody tries to take this land, I'm going to take you. So we have sleepwalking that starts pretty quickly. She's thunking her head on the thing. No, she's never done that before. There's this curio type cabinet or a wardrobe. It's a wardrobe. And
it ain't Narnia, people.
No, it is not Narnia. It is not Narnia.
Let's talk about how scary that toy is, dude. The little winding box. We just watched Clown in a Cornfield, and I was like, that was so dumb that they kept showing that.
Right.
Then we watch this, and I'm like, ooh, they did it right. This is
I
the
guess
scariest toy.
the little out of
Ever.
focus clown head going up and down.
Oh man. And then if you watch, I'm afraid I'm gonna get hypnotized by that glass, dude. And they just show it forever. And I'm like, oh no, oh no. Like I would blink, dude, because I was getting too scared.
And the tension that's there because well, we'll get there in a second. So before anything, mom sends all the kids off to school for their first day. Some shit has happened. A bunch of pictures fall down off the wall. All the clocks stop. She's like, it's super weird. Like 3:07 in the morning, 3:07 in the morning. This doesn't make any sense. Sends the kids off to school and is going to play clap clap with the youngest who's not old enough to be in school yet. All right, I'll play with you. Okay, go ahead and clap for me. And she's following the sounds. She's blindfolded, but we get to see the wardrobe doors open up and then just a couple hands come sneaking out and yeah, and that's when we know stuff's starting to get a little bad. Mom starts getting bruised up. Joey King has a crazy scene in her bedroom with her sister. She's like, there's somebody right behind you.
That one really upset me, dude. The idea of somebody being like someone's behind you and like you can turn around and there's no one there. That's scarier than if I turned around and there was someone there with a knife.
Right.
I'd be like, what are you seeing? And I'm not seeing. I don't like it. Make it stop.
And we should mention we found a basement behind some boarded over area in a closet, behind a closet wall. They go down, there's all kinds of old shit down there and old piano, whatever. Mom gets freaked out and is getting bruised up all over. She has an iron deficiency, which I thought was a nice little thing. Like, hey, you can play it off as something. She's taking her iron deficiency pills, but she's getting really beat up. The kids are starting to smell shit around the house. It fucking stinks in here. I don't know. The one kid's boom, 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 boom.
I love the one sister's like, stop farting. It's
Right.
She's like, it's not me, it's you, you dirty turd.
Like and that's where those kids just shine, It's like real
Yeah, that's real family.
Yeah, that's 100% real family. We don't. He comes back from the Florida trip, and shit has gone really south. He pulls up here, screaming upstairs. This is where the demon.
This is the first time we see something. And
Right.
it's that creepy, I think an old lady thing up on top of the bureau, and it jumps down and it's pulling her
Yeah.
by the hair all over the room. And I was like, fuck this.
I'm pretty sure that's the witch. That was
Get in a motel.
yeah, but they try eventually, but
Yeah, they're like,
right. So Carolyn goes to Ed and Lorraine's talk at a local university.
and this is where we see crazy cat head lady,
Yeah.
which is actually the real Warren lady.
But hey, the Warrens, I don't know. I've never read a ton about, their actual whole full story in that, but the idea is super cool. I like the idea.
And yeah, the idea is super cool. It sucks though when you find out that they were total frauds and charlatans.
And
Like proven.
I've read some of that. I have read some of that some of the stuff was, yeah. But either way, this is fiction. This is using them but amplifying the stories. Taking an
Right.
idea, which a lot of people do. How many times have you seen based on true events?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that if it says based on a true story, it's a little more like believable. If it's based on true events, that just means they took a couple of the same names and fuck all the story.
Right. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's some of this too. You know what I mean? If this shit had actually happened, we would, and there's some like I remember in The Conjuring 2, seeing some of the pictures they showed at the end, the real pictures of the kids fucking flying around the room and stuff like that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so there was so maybe we'll do a deep dive one day into we'll just do a special episode. Horror Pop Extravaganza is not doing a. Oh, I love watching that. Your kids sneak down behind you and crawl and then turn
Ah,
the other way.
there's something behind you.
I should have. Um, but Carolyn goes to the talk and then finds them after the fact and says, "Look," and we see them tell a couple people, like, "Hey, most of the time it's just regular shit. Look, this water was leaking on your pipe. It's creaky floorboards. They're not trying to make a demon out of everything."
Yeah.
But she's like, "Hey, my family's fucked up. Can you do something? And they're like, ah, it's probably, it's never what you think it is. There's almost always a rational explanation. She's like, nah, this bad. This
Yeah.
bad. This is scary bad. And okay, we'll come over there and, just at least look at it a little bit. We do see them at home and learn that Lorraine had a bad experience one time with an exorcism where it went bad. We get to see some of the video of this dude like screaming reverse Latin into her face. And he's like, she didn't come out of her room for 8 days. She didn't eat, she didn't drink, she didn't sleep, she didn't anything. What did she see? I don't
When
know.
they show her freak out, dude, she portrays true terror on her
So
face. It
good.
was really
So
impressive, that sequence.
So good. Yeah. And the shaky cam, just makes it all the better. But yeah, she's great, dude. Vera Farmiga is fucking awesome. So they come over and immediately start to figure things out. Lorraine sees it and even tells them after the fact. She's like, I saw it latched onto you as soon as I walked in the door. I saw it latched onto all your kids. And this is cool too, because we see the Smokey just kind of not really a red-faced demon or anything, just this entity, something that's manipulating them. They start to go around the house, determine this is a real thing. If we want the church to approve it, we have to get evidence. So I'm going to bring in my boy Drew. He's an awesome, paranormal investigator. He's great with working equipment, whatever. And the sheriff, and I think he was brought in as a, objective observer, somebody who didn't really have any stake in the game, just like, hey, is this shit really going down?
I expected it to be our homeboy from Insidious,
James or Wanell.
Lee Wynell, right?
Yeah, yeah, Lee
Yeah.
Wanell.
But
Which
they didn't go that way.
no, kind of left this thing alone on its own, which I feel his portrayal in Insidious wouldn't have worked. It was almost more comedic, and you would have needed both of them. Like those two play off each other
Right.
so well. Whereas the tension in this, Insidious has some comedic moments. This doesn't really have a lot of comedic moments.
Got
There's
like two, dude, and they were so well received. I was so happy to like, have a little giggle in the middle of my terror.
right,
Like
because
when the detective they hear something creaking in the door, and the guy comes out and he's like, "Oh, too many burritos,"
right. Yeah. And you get, yeah, just a few of those, but for the most part, we're trapped in this house and Lorraine goes out by the lake, sees, and then Ed comes out next to her and the feet are just hanging right by his head.
That's a great scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to help these people, Ed. We can't do anything about this, Ed. Really cool scene. He agrees to it, doesn't want her to stay, but she's like, this is what God put us together for. We got to do this. This is who we are. So this is where I saw the kind of the origin story, This is the one that, but it already, they were partaking in exorcisms and it looked like they had lots of, a whole shit ton of paranormal stuff and haunted trinkets and things like that in their house. He, I want to say immediately they bring in the crew and they stay with them for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's cameras going off, there's flash bulbs when she's sleepwalking, and they're like, hey, that's not her setting the cameras off. There's something else. Which I don't know why somebody didn't follow her closer as she was
Right.
going up the
Yeah.
stairs, because she gets shut behind that door and then all of a sudden shit's real bad.
Did you ever have a sleepwalker in your life? Because my sister was a sleepwalker and it would scare the shit out of me.
It is scary. It is
She
scary.
didn't even talk when she was under,
Oh yeah, dude. A lot
but
of
they would say wacky shit.
right. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. And you do, like he does, you got to kind of guide him back. You don't want to just startle him awake and then all of a sudden they're staying there. Scary. Why am I up here? What are you doing, Jason? The the entity is in full swing now because I believe they said it was a 3-step process, like infestation, oppression, possession. And Lorraine had done some homework, finds out that this lady, not only the witch who sacrificed her kid, but there was another mother who killed her kid and then killed herself in the house. Some kid, a neighbor kid, came over and he killed himself. We did lose the dog right at the beginning. Sadie never even made it in the house. The little girl found her dead. That was really sad. So she's like, I don't think you guys can leave. Like this thing is attached to you. It's not, we can't just run away from the house. But after the one girl, and I love that scene, dude, where her hair just starts going up, and then
Yeah.
you could see something slowly grabbing the top of her head, and then just starts flinging her all over the room. They're trying to grab her, jump on her like a grease pig at the fucking fairgrounds. trying to get on this girl. The family takes off to go to the hotel. Mom has become fully possessed. She's like having a dream in bed, and then Bathsheba shows up in her face and barfs all in her mouth. And yeah, just this goo. Now she's full on possessed. She gets, I think, to the hotel, and but also when Lorraine was in the basement, which another really good sequence, like you said, the terror, the basement sequence so good. The lighting of the matches with the clapping hand and it burning on her finger, and you're just waiting for like light another one faster. You can't light it fast enough. But the Bathsheba is able to manipulate the necklace that Lorraine lost in the basement and then take over her kid. We get an awesome sequence with Annabelle and the demon, which is just when that doll's head just slowly, and then that busted ass eye is looking at you, and she's just brushing her hair, rocking in a rocking chair.
Ugh. Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I can see it on your face. You really didn't like it.
Dude, because it happened too fast after the clapping. The clapping was one of those ones where you jump off a cliff that's higher than you thought, and
Yeah.
you take that double breath. You're like, that one. That's how that is. That scene hit me.
That's fair. Oh no, this just got bad. So Ed and Lorraine have to go home to check on their daughter because she's all freaked out who's staying with Lorraine's mother. They do get that under control. Then they get a call from dad who's like, yo, I just got to the hotel, but the fuck kids are saying she took off with two of the kids and I don't know what's happening. This blah, 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 blah. Okay, we gotta go. Get back to the house as fast as you can. All right, we gotta go, Lorraine. You can't come with me. Actually, I gotta go with you. God loves us both. Okay, let's go. Now we're all racing to the farmhouse. Everybody gets there. Doors locked. Fucking deputy badass shows up with a shotgun. Is like, move. I've been waiting for this all night to shoot the doorknob off. They kick that shit in, get in the house, find mom in the basement with a pair of scissors ready to fucking kill Joey King. I'm like, dude. And her face has become increasingly just gnarly. I
Yeah.
mean, gnarly. Like, just the eyes are slowly changing. The skin looks gray and falling off, very decrepit. They grab her. She's screaming. Like, we got to get her to the priest because the priest hasn't approved the exorcism yet. Let's get her to the priest. Go and try and rip her out the front door. Great scene. The
Yeah.
demon let her leave. She just almost starts like a vampire in sunlight, burning up.
Yeah.
Lorraine's like, she's not going to let her go. We got to do something about this. They try to get her inside, and everybody gets thrown around. Deputy gets a big chunk out of his face.
Yeah, she bit him.
Yeah, right out of his fucking cheek. And then the demon thing grabs her and is pulling her down the hallway. She grabs onto the door frame and she's like, Roger. Straight down to the basement. Now we're all back down there. We can't find the littlest girl though. And she's the one who talks to Rory, who was the son of the woman, not the witch, but the woman who ended up killing her kid, who was helping the little girl. We learned that he was kind of guiding her around and trying to keep her safe from the evil lady.
Again, when your little kid says, "Hey, I've got this imaginary friend in this new house, but he's really sad. He's got something red and like a hole in his head." Believe her. Just be like, "All right, let's get the fuck out of here." That's horrible. I don't want any part of this.
No,
Dog's dead.
no shit. I asked my queen when I was watching this earlier. I'm like, yo, if Annabelle came up to us and was like, there's fucking something scary in the corner that's looking at me and telling me it wants my family dead, what would we do? And she's like, yeah, we go. I'm like, cool. All right. As long as we're on the same page there. Cause yeah, I'm not
Dude,
sticking around to find out.
my parents lived in a haunted house in Flagstaff, and my sister's little stepson was probably 5, and he came running out of the living room. And I had had experiences in this house. And so, like, and every time I went to this house, I would get this feeling like a chill around my heart.
Ugh.
So, and I didn't live there I lived there my senior year of high school, and then I moved out on my own, not
Yeah.
because it was haunted, but just because like it was time. But anyway, this kid was in the living room by himself. He comes running out. We're all in the kitchen, and he says, we're like, why don't you want to watch your show anymore? And he was like, I don't want to play with that little boy. He's mean. And we're like, what? And he's like, yeah, that little boy scares me. And I've seen him before. we were just like, let's go. Let's get out of this fucking
Time
house,
to go,
lock it
dude.
behind us, and never come back, dude.
Burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
You pull a poltergeist, yep, you just get everybody in the car and rush away as fast as you can.
When my parents were moving out of that house, my dad had this big, huge, heavy headboard and it was leaning against the wall. And that whole thing just fell over, dude. There was no wind, no draft, nothing. Just this big 200-pound headboard came off the wall and fell to the ground. And we were right under it downstairs. We just heard this slam upstairs and we're like, what the fuck? Went up there and it was that headboard, dude. Crazy
Listen,
stuff.
dude, in the sake of time, I'm only going to say that I grew up in a haunted house and have a I wrote a whole probably like 5, 6 pages about it because it haunted me for. Anyway, let's get back to the movie. I agree with you. There's some crazy shit out there in this world. I
Yeah.
agree with you. And scary things. I don't know about scary like this because little girls hiding in the wall. Well, first they can't find her. She gets,
Right.
yeah, and she's gone for no, but by the time we're in the basement, because Joey King is safe, she's out in the car with Drew or the other girl. One of the other girls is outside with Drew, and he's like, "Stay in here. I got to go find your sister." Run, 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 looking around. We learn that she is in the wall under, or no, she's under the, yeah, in one of
Under
the
the
walls
floor
under
in
the
the
floor
kitchen.
in
Yeah.
the kitchen.
But like under the linoleum. Like he has to
Right.
pull up the linoleum to get to her.
Right.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the basement, mom's going full fucking Bathsheba, just crazy transformation. She's throwing people. They finally get her tied to the thing. Lorraine's like, Ed, you got to do this exorcism. He's like, I'm not sanctioned. She's like, you can do it. I believe. All of a sudden, we got her wrapped in a sheet because at first she's just fucking everybody up. They
Yeah.
throw a sheet over her head, tie her to a chair. Amazing sequence watching her face change underneath the ripped part of the sheet. So
Yeah.
good, barfing up blood all over the inside of the sheet. Chair starts floating, flips upside down, crashes down on the ground. They've got her, but she ends up getting away, scurries away like a little rat into a hole in the wall. And her kid is in the wall, and now we have her chasing her kid like some people under the stairs shit, dude. Yeah, or Housebound. I really like Housebound was another really good one. But she's chasing through the walls. The kid starts to get away. We've got parents coming in from the ceiling, from the everything's boarded off though. It was amazing how they trapped these two in this spot where it's just out of reach. You know, Roger's reaching through the thing trying to get to her, and she's just barely, but he can't because there's slatted 2x4s all over. You got people up on every side. She gets in there and is ready to kill her kid, full on demon mode. And then Vera Farmiga hits her with the Holy Spirit and is like, remember, like you're a mother, like remember that day at the beach you told me about when, you know, it was the happiest day of your life and you would never do. And Lily Taylor just slays right here.
Yeah.
You were watching this expulsion of a demon, and she does eventually throw it up, but not before we see all these changes in her face and flashbacks and memories and all this stuff going on. They get the demon out of her, they get her up to the kids. She's good again. She's their mom. She's back crying tears of
Yeah,
joy.
she like hugs her and stuff. I'd be like, get
Right.
away from me,
Right.
mom. Like, this is gonna take a couple of weeks to get over.
Maybe longer, unless you want to give me a pony, then we can talk. Everybody's happy. Ed and Lorraine go back home. They say something along the lines of somebody just called about a thing in New Hampshire, and it's the Amityville stuff going on. And okay, maybe I'll give him a call back. But that's right after he puts the music box in the Museum of Horrors. And it opens up and we just roll to black with doon 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 doon, and it's just hypnotizing you.
I know the
Just
whole time I was like,
waiting to see something. You're just waiting to see something, and it never comes,
yeah,
which is so good.
yeah,
So
so
good.
good.
It's like I'm not gonna jump scare you that last time. I'm just gonna let you freak the fuck out for 15 seconds before I start showing news clippings of the real people and
Yeah,
pictures of all the real people, the actual family that this thing was based on, the Pearsons or something like that. But yeah, dude, The Conjuring. So out of five scary Bathshebas, how many do you give The Conjuring from 2013?
Conjuring gets a 5 for me, dude. It's probably the best. I mean, I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm gonna say it's probably the best haunted house movie I've ever seen.
I'm 100% with you. After rewatching it today, it hits me probably harder each time I watch it.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm like, there is so much right that it's a 5 out of 5. It's a
Yeah.
straight 5 out of 5 for me. Like, that's what I'm going with because for all the reasons we already mentioned, The Conjuring, if you haven't seen it, and it would spawn, like we said, you had The Conjuring 2, The Conjuring 3, The Conjuring Last Rites is about to come out. The Curse of La Llorona, or La Llorona, I think.
La 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 Rona.
Okay, and then you had Annabelle, the beginning or Annabelle creation, Annabelle comes home, the Nun 2. There's been this huge world, and I expect we're just going to keep getting some more of it because it is fun. I don't want to say they digress, but they become different. Like each of these is different movies. Annabelle Comes Home, I think, is fun for like a bunch of kids on Halloween night. Whereas this is like true terror if you want to crap your pants and not maybe sleep okay for a couple days. So 5 out of 5 from me. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And yeah, just check it out because even if you have seen it, go back and watch it again. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't get
Next
worse.
week, we are going to be doing Death of a Unicorn.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, yep. I wanted to bring that one to you. I know we're going to interrupt the normal list. I've had a few people recommend some movies. I want to get a spot where we can capture everything that people recommend. And if there's stuff, we can just add it to the list and make sure that we get to it. Outside of my boy Stromer, he be coming up. I love you so much, dude. But there's just some shit that I know Lil Duke Spooky's not going to want to watch.
He apologized to me online for like picking like greasy stuff, and he was like, "I'll try to make it less greasy." And I was like,
Now
"So
he did throw Cockneys versus Zombies, which is actually a really fun movie.
all right, all right."
But yeah, we'll see. We got a lot of things on the plate that we got to get to, but we'll see if we can get there. So next week we're going to be doing Death of a Unicorn. I believe that is available on HBO right
HBO
now.
Max.
Yep.
Oh, no, it's just HBO now. No
I
more Max.
know.
I
Yeah.
forgot.
They went from HBO to HBO Max to HBO. So good for you. Good transition. Right back where you started.
Marketing at its finest.
It really is just Nora Boris just fucking eating itself over and over again. So next week, Death of a Unicorn. Check that out if you can before we get to the episode. And now it's time to pause for the living. And this is the part of the show where we like to bring a little bit of just ideas, insights, things that maybe can help us all be a little bit, I don't want to say cooler people, but I guess for lack of better
Cooler
phrase,
people.
to be
Yeah.
cooler people. So we've been doing like so much. If you notice behind me, there's no more HPE. There's no more of that. It's because all the walls have been patched and painted. We're getting ready to move. There was some. We thought we had a great place. Some shit happened. I don't even know how it happened. Like I didn't think legally it could happen, but we ended up not getting this place that we wanted. So now we're gonna look for something else. Probably list this before we start looking here nor there. The idea this week and the thing that I noticed in those events, in as things happened, expect nothing. Expect nothing. If you expect nothing to happen a specific way, it is way easier to accept everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. No. I've done that it also takes the spice out of life a little bit. And you start growing cold and dead inside. But I feel like you don't have to go as far as I did, where I went from not expecting anything to not looking forward to anything.
That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
I think when you don't expect things to be a certain way, you can be excited about everything because it's new all the time.
Yeah.
You don't.
Not everybody likes new, but I'm just agreeing. Yeah, it could be that way.
It can be that way. I can tell
Yeah.
you from, experience and reading a lot of other people who have pursued journeys such as the one I feel I find myself on over the last forever. The it's because expecting things will lead to frustration.
Mm-hmm.
If you expect when I walk through the door, my significant other should have a smile on their face, happy, to see me. My kids should behave a certain way. They should do what I tell them the first time I fucking tell them to do it. If we expect things, because a lot of times I believe our expectations never line up with how shit plays out in the real world.
Right.
So are we just creating future suffering by creating in our own mind? We are the architects creating situations that are just going to present future suffering. And I think when we expect things, that starts to happen more frequently. The flip side of that coin is to expect nothing and to accept everything. Just accept it for, oh, the lawn guy's here. I can hear him going by in the mower. He's awesome. Expect nothing, accept everything, because to not accept it is just a denial of reality.
Yes. As long as you're expecting, there has to be like a healthy limit, Don't take things that are not healthy, Like don't let people be shitty at you.
Right. But understand that people are going to be shitty at you.
Yeah, don't be surprised when they are shitty at you.
And it's more, don't expect people to be anything.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Don't anticipate them being one way or another. And a lot of times I think even shitty people or people in a shitty mood, I shouldn't say shitty people. Shitty wow. I've been watching a lot of stuff. I ain't been about shitty wow. So those expectations, even if somebody is in a shitty mood and they're like, they take it out on you. You
Yeah.
know, just accept it for what it is. You don't have to accept being treated like that. You can either remove yourself from the situation, choose to have a conversation. I find a lot of times that when people are in a shitty mood, it's hard to have a conversation. Try to set it
Absolutely.
up for later.
You
Hey,
can give them empathy though and peace and not confront them right then and there when it's gonna probably you can almost expect it's gonna go poorly if you
I
give
was
them
in
that.
that situation the other day, man. Right after I sent you that video about the lady with the shopping carts, that she bitched the whole way putting it there and the whole way walking back, and then started bitching to her husband about it. All about people can't put the small carts in the small cart one and the large carts in the large carts one. Those are the battles people are fighting, raging cortisol through their body, destroying their cardio metabolic system. Carts. Fucking
Card.
carts. I go to the gas station after the fact. I want to get a sub sandwich. They got a Subway in the gas station. I get my fucking sandwich, go out to pay, talking to the lady. I'm like, hey, how are you doing today, man? And she's like, first off, her name tag, she wrote underneath it, my name is, it said whatever her name was underneath, she wrote mud.
All right, at least she's giving
Right.
people a heads up. Like,
Right. And I'm like, hey, man, how are you doing today? She's like, well, I'm still alive. And I was like, this is that situation, right?
right.
Accept it for what it was. And I was like, I just responded with kindness. I'm like, that's a pretty cool place to be, actually, above ground. And she looked back at me and she said, yeah, no. And then I went about my day, but I also didn't let her impact how I felt.
Right.
The way she feels has nothing to do with the way I feel. What she says to me should have nothing to do with the way I feel. And so I did respond with kindness and then left because there was nothing. I
Yeah,
tried.
you weren't gonna turn that around. You did your part.
Right. My name is Mud. When I looked down and saw that, I was like, shit, man.
Those
Right.
kind of people worry me though when they're making my food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what did she do?
At least no, at
She's
Subway.
so disgruntled.
At Subway, you can watch. And she was only taking the money. She wasn't making the sandwich. The
You can
sandwich,
watch the part you're there for, dude. When they pull those buns out of the oven, you don't know where they were before that. They
that's
were all up on her mud butt.
my name is Mud. Yeah, just wiping bread on her. So that's, the pause for living for today, I think, is to try and look at those areas in life where you might get frustrated about something that's completely out of your control. And find ways to just accept it for exactly what it is. When you're kids, that's a hard one for me because my youngest is wild, dude. Nonstop, 24/7, fucking moving, going, amazing. I love her more than anything. But if I expect her to act a certain way just because I say act this way, that's hyper unrealistic.
Yeah.
And then if it often leads to yelling or like you need to listen, you know what I mean, those kind of things. Or it's just accept that she's a 6-year-old with crazy amounts of energy and a wild personality, and that's who my kid is. I got to figure out ways to help her slow down, to do these things, and that's my responsibility. That's nobody else's responsibility. That's on me to help her navigate a lot of that stuff. So I need to accept just who she is, exactly who she is, and then what can I do to foster, positive growth and positive change in her existence. But if I'm like, oh, kids should act a specific way, whole generations were like, when you're in public, you don't open your fucking mouth or I'll smack you in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Kids are to be seen, not heard.
Yep.
Hear me?
Thank you, Grandma.
Right. So expect nothing except everything. I think I brought a similar concept up before, but yeah, it just really hit me with the whole house thing. And then, I'm trying to do manual labor, get everything worked out with the house, and my body just can't do it like it used to do it with the multiple sclerosis. And I just have to accept that. I don't sit around and be like, oh, I remember when I could fucking do all the things. Said me. It's like, no, dude, I don't even fucking remember that anymore. This is just who I am right now and just accept it and move on in the best way possible. And in a lot of ways, I feel like my life is truly opening up for the first time, probably ever, in just a way that's like, this is different and good. Like, you couldn't trade me fucking $10 million for the way I feel most of the time. You couldn't. There's no way you could. So we're going to keep working on that all throughout the Horror Pop Extravaganza. I hope people really start taking some of that shit away. The book is getting really close to being done. We'll be able to, if anybody wants to dig a little bit deeper into some of this stuff with us, that'll be available soon. And if you can like and subscribe, and I'll probably change that once I figure out what the algorithm wants. But if you know what it wants, if you could do that, that would be perfect, because we're just out here trying to spread some love of some horror and some just love of love. All right. Until next time, I've been Pops Ghostly.
I've been a little Duke Spooky.
The Dukiest.
The Dukiest Spookiest.
No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.